I'm trying an experiment this week where I grow a beard in real time on camera. So by the time you see this, the Steam summer sale will have probably ended, but that went pretty well. It was the first time that Super Win had been on sale since I dropped the price, so it's sort of interesting to see how it sells in that context versus, you know, other sales that I've done in the past. There's always, I think when I put the game on sale, not during one of the big Steam events, it tends to sell a little bit better, but it outperformed like last year's Thanksgiving and Christmas sales, so it's doing pretty well. This week I've been mostly working on like stuff sort of related to the framework of what a session of Gunmetal Arcadia is going to look like. So when you start the game, it's going to create a session that has a few random number generators, and I need to be able to save the state of those random number generators so that if you save and quit, it will, you know, restore the state exactly, and any random loot drops or anything else that's sort of randomized needs to be the same. Not like, oh, I loaded up my save at this time, now it's a little bit different. So I've been working on like serializing the state of Merson twisters to file, and sort of refactoring some of my serialization code to support that. What I did with Super Win the game was all the save game data was written out as nested key value pairs. So anything at all about the state of the game, whether it was how many gems you had collected, whether it was the, you know, location, the last room that you were in, the last position you were in that room, anything like that was all saved out as key value pairs. And when I added the speedrun part of the game, and I was saving out ghost data, I started to get into a case where I had large amounts of binary data that didn't really fit well into this key value pair framework. So I ended up saving those as just like one-off files on disk, and that worked out well as far as uploading them to the Steam leaderboard so you can download and play against friends' ghosts. But what I'm doing now is I'm trying to make that a real supported system so that when I serialize an entity and its components, those things can choose to say, alright, I have some block of binary data here and I just need to, you know, access the disk for this. Like, I know how to deal with it, but it's not going to fit well into this system of nested key values. So that's sort of what I've been working on this week. It's coming along pretty well. It's not checked in yet, but it feels like it's going to work how I'm intending. So hopefully once I get that done, I can start to have a better idea of the scope of like what is a session of the game going to look like, as far as generating all the random seeds up front, being able to save the state of random number generators, and hopefully tie that into daily challenges, because that's something I want to do with Gunmetal Arcadia too, is be able to just ping my web server and say like, hey, what's the random seed for today? And probably also figure out some way to say, oh, you've already played today's daily challenge, so come back, try again tomorrow. But yeah, I'll sort of figure out how all that's going to fit into this same sort of system. I guess other than that, I've been working on a character select menu, which, depending on when the next in-development build goes up, that may or may not be available already. Right now, there are no characters in the game. There's just the one sort of default character, but I've sort of stubbed out the data, stubbed out framework so that once I start having different characters, it will be very easy to just populate a menu with any choices, and hopefully make it easy so if I want to add new characters as DLC later on down the road, sort of make it easy on myself to do that. But yeah, I mean, I'm planning for Gunmetal, there will be like one sort of default character and then 3 other sort of variations on that default that will have basically just different starting statistics. Maybe one will move faster, one will jump higher, one will be a little bit stronger, that sort of thing. And then maybe I also have some secret characters like the Wayfarer from Super Win, and maybe like Elle, the Librarian from Eldritch. So I'll try to find some cool stuff I can do there. But yeah, for right now I'm just sort of stubbing out the menu. So when you start the game, it will ask you to pick a character, and it doesn't do anything yet, but it will soon. Let's see, on the last video, Diz13 asked, just to be sure you actually program music basically from scratch without using a third-party program. What I do is I use Cakewalk Home Studio to author the music, to compose everything, and then I save that out as a MIDI file and load the MIDI file into my own little synthesizer and render out the audio using my own synths. So the compositions are written in a third-party tool, but the actual rendered audio, what you hear while you're playing the game, that's all my own technology. You mentioned FamiTracker here too. I've used FamiTracker a little bit myself. I'm not totally comfortable with that sort of old school tracker style program where you have like the vertical timeline. But yeah, FamiTracker seems pretty awesome as far as like being authentic to what the NES was capable of. It's like spot on. So I've actually been looking at FamiTracker for reference as far as like trying to make my own sounds as authentic as possible. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those below this video or send me a question on Twitter or ask.fm. My username is Pirate Hearts on both of those, and I'll try to answer those next time I do a video. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.